Welcome to Phrasal Verb Practice. This is the place to learn real English, one phrasal verb at a time. My name is Marissa, and I'll walk you through this learning journey. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to learn and practice the phrasal verb back out. It really has one main meaning, but we use it in a few everyday situations. When we say back out, we're talking about deciding not to do something anymore. Usually, it's something you already agreed to do. For example, someone says yes, and then later they change their mind. Here are a few examples. He said he would help, but he backed out at the last minute. She backed out of the deal because it felt too risky. They backed out of the trip because of bad weather. So basically, the idea here is simple. When we use back out, we mean stepping away from a commitment or a promise. Now, let's look at how people say back out in other languages. In Spanish, people usually say retirarse or echarse para atrás. In French, it's se desister or se retirer. In Portuguese, you'll hear desistir or recuar. In Italian, it's tirarsi indietro. In German, zurücktreten or abspringen. In Japanese, people say te o hiku. And in Chinese, it's tui chu or fan hui. Now, let's think about when people normally use back out. People use back out when they change their mind about a plan. They use it when they decide not to continue with an agreement. They also use it when they feel unsure, afraid, or uncomfortable. Sometimes something unexpected happens, or the situation suddenly feels too risky or complicated. Let's quickly review some examples so everything feels clear. He backed out after realizing the cost was too high. She promised to come, but she backed out. They almost signed the contract, but they backed out. Don't back out now. Everyone is counting on you. He wanted to join the project, but backed out later. Now, let's talk a bit about how back out works grammatically. Back out is an inseparable phrasal verb. That means we don't put the object in the middle. So we say, she backed out of the agreement. They backed out of the plan. We do not say, she backed the agreement out. The usual structure sounds like this: back out of a deal, back out of a promise, back out of a plan. And when we use pronouns, nothing really changes. He backed out of it. She backed out of them. All right, now it's time to practice. First, you'll listen to a short text from everyday life. Then, you'll hear another short text in a work or office situation. Are you ready? Let's start. Last Friday, I made a simple plan with two friends. We were going to wake up early and drive to a small town nearby. Nothing fancy, just coffee, a walk, and good conversation. Everyone said yes. But the night before, one friend texted and said she might back out because she was tired. I understood, but I hoped she wouldn't. The next morning, I woke up late. For a moment, I thought about backing out, too. My bed felt warm, and the weather looked cloudy. Still, I got up. A few minutes later, another message came in. My friend had officially backed out. No drama. She just didn't feel like going anymore. We decided to keep the plan. While getting ready, my sister called. She asked if I could help her move a couch that afternoon. I said yes without thinking. After I hung up, I realized the day was getting full. I almost called her back to back out, but I didn't. I didn't want to disappoint her. At breakfast, my remaining friend joked and said, "Don't back out on me now." We laughed. It felt good to show up. Later that day, when the couch turned out to be heavier than expected, my sister asked if I wanted to back out. I was tired, but I stayed. That evening, another plan came up, a casual dinner with neighbors. Someone suggested canceling. One person wanted to back out because it was late. Another had a headache and backed out, too. In the end, only 3 of us showed up. As we sat there eating and talking, I thought about how easy it is to back out of small plans. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it's necessary. But that day reminded me that not backing out can lead to simple, good moments. And honestly, I was glad I didn't back out of everything. Great, that was the first text. How many times did you hear the phrasal verb of the day? Now, let's move on to the second text. On Monday morning, the team gathered for a project meeting that had been on the calendar for weeks. Everyone had agreed to the timeline, the budget, and the main goals. The manager opened the meeting by saying that this was the point of no return and that no one should back out unless there was a serious reason. During the discussion, one teammate looked uneasy. After a few minutes, she admitted she might need to back out of leading one part of the project. Her workload had grown, and she didn't want to risk missing deadlines. The room went quiet for a second, but the manager appreciated her honesty. Later that day, an email came from a partner company. They were considering backing out of a small part of the agreement because of unexpected costs. It wasn't ideal, but it wasn't a surprise either. These things happen in real work situations. By Wednesday, pressure started to build. One team member joked in the hallway, saying, "If this keeps growing, I might back out myself." Everyone laughed, but there was some truth behind it. Deadlines were tight, and expectations were high. On Thursday afternoon, the manager called another meeting. He wanted to be clear. If anyone planned to back out, now was the time to say it. No one spoke. People exchanged looks, but no one wanted to back out at that stage. That evening, one employee stayed late to finish a report. She thought about backing out of an optional presentation the next day, but she decided to push through. She didn't want her team to think she wasn't committed. On Friday, the presentation went well. Even the partner company confirmed they wouldn't back out after all. As people packed up for the weekend, the manager thanked everyone for not backing out when things got difficult. It wasn't a perfect week, but showing up made all the difference. Great, that was the second text, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for following this channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.